Hello friends, how's it going? It's October 23rd, and on today's podcast, we'll be going over an array of news articles and memes. But before we do so, would you please go ahead and click that blue bell to get notifications so when I post, you'll be the first to know. Also, follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. I tend to post multiple times a day and put out pretty good information. Also, please, after watching this video, please leave a thumbs up, a like. The more likes that this video gets, the more times it's recommended to more viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. So with that being said, let's hop into it. This is True Reporting. So we see here from September 20th, 2016, why I invested $500 million in migrants. George Soros. This is from GeorgeSoros.com. The world has been unsettled by a surge in forced migration. Doesn't that sound familiar? That sounds like what's coming up through the southern border of Mexico and on its way up here. A caravan of over 14,000 people, 1,000 migrants. 95% of them look to be military-aged men, very little women and children. And the men that are coming up are using the women and children as shields. Very pathetic, calling Donald Trump the Antichrist for not letting them in to live. Again, we are not a country without borders, right? I totally believe in that. But anyways, tens of millions of people are on the move. This is from 2016, fleeing their home countries in search for a better life abroad. Some are escaping civil war or an oppressive regime. Others are forced out by extreme poverty, lured by possibility of economic advancement for themselves and their families. It doesn't matter. Again, this is from GeorgeSoros.com. He's basically pandering to these people and trying to pull at our heartstrings. Very sadistic, very evil, if I might add that. You come into this country through merit. You come into this country legally. You don't just barge in whenever you feel and try and get jobs and such. That is insane, and that's what he wants. They want to unsettle this country. Diversity in that form does not work. It doesn't work when it's forced upon. Our collective failure to develop and implement effective policies to handle the increased flow has contributed greatly to human misery and political instability, both in countries people are fleeing and in the countries that host them, willing or not. Migrants are often forced into lives of idle despair, while host countries fail to reap the proven benefit, get this, that greater integration could bring. You like how that's so beautifully said? It's such propaganda. Governments must play the leading role in addressing this crisis by creating and sustaining adequate physical and social infrastructure for migrants and refugees. Says who? Says who? But harnessing the power of private sector is also critical. Oh yeah, you throw that in there in the end. Recognizing this, the Obama administration recently launched a call to action asking U.S. companies to play a bigger role in meeting the challenges posed by forced migration. Today, private sector leaders are assembling at the United Nations who are paying for this caravan moving up. I covered that in the last podcast. To make concrete commitments to help solve the problem. In response, I have decided to earmark $500 million for investments that specifically address the needs of migrants, refugees, and host communities. I will invest in startups, established companies. Just at what we know now, these are alarm bells just sounding off left and right. Although my main concern is to help migrants and refugees arriving in Europe, look how Europe turned out, I will be looking for good investment ideas that will benefit migrants all over the world. Destabilization of these countries. Look at EU, look at Germany, look at Switzerland, look at these rape statistics that are just soaring. No-go zones, remember? Remember all this? Doesn't this sound familiar? This will not happen in our country per POTUS, let's say that. We will seek investments in a variety of sectors, among them emerging digital technology, which seems especially promising as a way to provide solutions to the particular problems that dislocated people often face. Well, it's the United Nations, it's these billionaires and trillionaires that are financing this. They're forcing people into migration. They've destabilized the country, Guatemala, Haiti, all these places that are down there in that southern tip of Mexico and beyond. That is where, like Somalia, well, that's actually Middle East, but these places are purposely done to. It's done upon them so that they move and invade other places. It's typical 21st century warfare is what we're looking at here, guys. But just reading along, this is actually making me sick. So let's go on to the next topic, the next article. You see the big picture. We see what's going on, right? It's terrible. And it's definitely funded by these evil people that want to destabilize the United States because we're the last one standing, right? Land of the free. Donald Trump assassination attempt by ISIS operatives was foiled by Secret Service last year. This came out about 7 days ago, and we look into it. This is from U.S. Newsweek. Operatives of the Islamic State militia group ISIS attempted to assassinate Donald Trump when the president was in Manila, Philippines last year, but were stopped by Secret Service agents. In November 2017, Trump was in the city for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN 50 summit, where he met with Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte when the botched assassination effort took place. The planned killing was previously kept under wraps until National Geographic disclosed it during Sunday's 2-hour television special about the Secret Service, United States Secret Service, on the front line. According to the report, threats were being made online against Trump even before he arrived in, I believe it's pronounced, Manila. One tweet read, "Gonna be in Manila the same time as Trump. I'll take one for the team, lads." The post also featured a mugshot of Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated President John F. Kennedy. Before Trump arrived in the Philippines, ISIS also released a series of videos with threatening messages for the president. One featured a picture of Trump with numerous bullet holes, accompanied by a message telling operatives to lie in wait and ambush him. On the person's Instagram account, Secret Service agents found a photo of him holding a book of how to kill, the definitive history of the assassin. Agents then discovered that one jihadi was hiding in the downtown Manila, just blocks from the hotel where the president was staying. When the discovery was made by the Secret Service, Trump was about 20 minutes from landing in the country on Air Force One, guys. The agents tracked down the ISIS operative in a park approximately 1 mile away from Trump's hotel. The operative was meeting with an associate when Secret Service members apprehended him. Absolutely crazy. The Philippines became an attraction for ISIS after jihadis started being forced out of the Middle Eastern countries. Again, more forcing of migrants, right? More of this forced invasion. Last year, the group stormed and held the Philippine city of Marawi last year, killing more than 1,000 people and displacing hundreds and thousands of more. Just displacement everywhere. Go wherever you can. After ISIS controlled Marawi for 5 months, Duterte's forces drove out the militants and declared the city safe in October 2017, a month before Trump's arrival in Manila. The failed assassination attempt in Manila is not the first threat against Trump intercepted by the Secret Service. Earlier this month, this is coming out in October, agents confirmed that they confiscated a suspicious envelope addressed to the president. The agency said it was investigating the matter. And we believe that was ricin, correct? The poison. So, guys, the powers that be won't allow any of this to happen. This is my personal opinion. The powers that be will not let this happen. And alongside that goes with the caravan. I do not believe that they will get close. I really don't. Just the powers that be won't allow it. And for this weird USA Today article, this came out 3 days ago. Police Fetus remains found at another funeral home, dozens of fetuses in boxes and in freezers. Detroit, in a rapidly widening investigation of Metro Detroit funeral homes, Detroit police executed a search warrant Friday at a West Side funeral home and removed the remains of 63 fetuses, police said. The discovery comes after 11 infants' remains were found last week at the defunct Cantrell funeral home on Detroit's east side. Custody of the latest remains found at the Perry funeral home was turned over to state investigators, who immediately declared the business closed and its license suspended, according to a statement from Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Of the grisly total, there were 36 fetuses stored in boxes and another 27 found in freezers, police said. So that's over 60. Friday's raid at the Perry home came after Detroit homicide detectives also raided Q.A. Cantrell Funeral Home in the East Point to investigate a potential connection with the fetuses found in the ceiling of Cantrell Funeral Home in Detroit. So one was found on the east side of Detroit, one was found on the west side. Detectives seized computers, business, cell phones, paperwork, according to news release. They also raided the home of the owner, Annetta Cantrell, the widow of deceased founder of the Detroit home with the same name. Detroit Police Chief James Craig said he was stunned. I've never seen anything like this in my 41 and a half years as a police officer, Craig said at the news conference on Friday, adding, "It's disturbing, but we will get to the bottom of this." Craig said police were tipped off to violations at the Perry Funeral Home after by a father involved in a civil suit over improper burial of his infant daughter. What? Holy cow. Lawyers for the father as well as the mother of the deceased baby said the parents are plaintiffs in a lawsuit that will allow them to represent dozens, perhaps scores of parents whose infants' remains were allegedly improperly handled at the Perry Funeral Home. Are they selling body parts on the black market? Are they using them for sacrifice? Who knows, right? At this point, anything I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? With the evilness and darkness that presides on this planet, right? Let's see. We already thought we had a strong case, and then the news started hitting the media about Cantrell. Our clients agreed that we should take what we knew to the highest level of the Detroit Police Department, Parks said Friday. Two attorneys said they believe many more infants' remains may be found in the improper possessions of the Perry Funeral Home, perhaps as many as 200. Based on their research of logbooks kept in the Wayne State University School of Mortuary Science, the funeral home routinely deposited infants' remains at the Wayne State University School's morgue, then failed to follow up with their parents' wishes for the remains to be used in research. I'm really wondering where all the rest of them are, Cieslak said Friday. The lawsuit filed by the two charges that Perry may have fraudulently billed Medicaid as well as Detroit Medical Center for burials it never performed. The lawyers said they cannot estimate how much money might be involved, but it must be significant, Parks said. We already had people calling us after seeing the news saying this happened to me already. Unbelievable, guys. So, who knows? I found that to be very interesting. Very dark, though. These people are sick. But anyways, let's hop into a couple memes to round things out. I may put out another podcast or go live. But just giving you a heads up. Let's hit these real quick. And just to see what's going on with them, right? Just kind of trailed off, but whatever. Oh, wait, my computer's got to crash real quick. There we go. Okay, so we see Republican voter guide. Let's see where this is. Let's see. Well, anyways, this is the Republican voter guide, and we see here, these are people to vote for. John H. Cox, Lieutenant Governor. Ed Hernandez, Democrat. Mark P. Muser, Treasury. Greg Conlone, U.S. Representative, 43rd District, Maxine Waters, State Senator 20. This is the Republican voter guide, right? Republican voter guide, Maxine Waters, Democrat, U.S. Representative, 43rd District. So, I understand that they're having I don't know why they have Democrats within the Republican voter guide. It's almost like they're kind of sneaking it in, like, oh, if we can throw maybe a couple Democrats in here, you won't notice it, or maybe it's because this is who you're not supposed to vote for. But it's very misleading, in my opinion. Very misleading, almost like it's on purpose, like they're trying to do voter fraud in a way. Then we see here the caravan of the Walking Dead. Imagine if these people marched on their own government and demanded change instead of marching towards ours and demanding charity. Yeah, absolutely. I found that to be very true. Now, this is what I was holding off for you guys. I didn't even want to give any details on it, but this broke my brain. So we see here the house. Oh my God, this is so crazy. The house where J.F.K. met Jackie is now up for sale. 349 Q Street. 349 Q Street. At what point does it become mathematically impossible to be a coincidence? Q Street, and get this, 3419 added together equals 17. 17 is this Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet, guys. This is a real place. Southby's International Realty. This is a real place in Washington, D.C. I cannot make this up, guys. I cannot make it up. We see it down here. This is going to blow your mind even further. So we see it again. I wonder how much this place cost. So this was sold $3,918. Let's see how much it was cost. $1.7 million. $1.7 million. When does it come? When does it become mathematically impossible? 3419 Q Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. I don't even know. I can't even think about that. So I was looking at a podcast today, and it was talking about the political pendulum of how you can go. It's most of the time it goes Republican, Democrat, almost always, especially when the Democrat side or Republican side runs for 2 elections, right? 2 election cycles. But every time, and you may not be able to tell, but this top line right here is Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama. So we see Reagan, Bush Sr., Republicans in the red, Clinton, Democrat, Bush Jr. in the red, and then Obama in the blue. Every time you see red on blue, blue on red, red on blue, blue on red. On the bottom is how Donald Trump was flip-flopping back and forth between Democrat and Republican. So people say, oh, he's so far right-wing, he's Hitler. No. What was he doing right here? Why was he flipping back and forth? Was this some kind of power move? Was this him trying to even... It goes so far back as to being such a powerful source. He's world renowned. Everyone knows him. His name is on everything. Everything with his name on it is a meme. Everything you read about him is a meme. He's everywhere. He's in our subconscious. It's crazy. I don't know what this is, but he has somehow been on top of his game ever since the beginning. I don't know where he's getting this information from, how to do it, but he has definitely been on top the entire time. And just his calculations are just incredible. The way that he's able to do this, kind of being on both sides of the pendulum, he's right down the middle. And I believe this was one of the main reasons he got elected, because he played the cards correctly, guys. Absolutely. And with that being said, we can see here, I'll end it on this. This was yesterday. It may be a little blurry, but this was yesterday in Houston. Guys, this is, I believe, the Toyota Center. I believe it's Toyota. And this is, I believe, where the Spurs play. And this packed out 20,000 people. Over 100,000 had RSVPs. You just can't make this stuff up. Something is happening. Something beautiful is happening. And that is it for me, guys. Definitely look for another podcast and or a live stream. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. Also, leave me a like. Like I said before, the more thumbs up that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to more people, thus more eyes on the truth. Also, if you would care to get merch and support this channel, you can do so by going to my PayPal in the description box below and leaving your mailing information. You can have a True Reporting card decal. These are $5. It says "Where we go one, we go all," and it has the logo of the podcast. Also, we have t-shirts if you want to check these out too. QAnon 17 on the back, and on the front is the True Reporting logo. And you'll meet like-minded people, I can promise you that. I've sold a ton of these, and just trying to spread the word, right? That's all we're doing here. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you soon. Please be kind to one another and love one another, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.